Welcome back to Mystery Sauce. If you love true crime, mysteries, and all things paranormal, you're in the right place. Don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button, but remember, it's your gateway to the unknown, where every click is watched by unseen eyes. Dive into the mystery with us. Number 3. Rex Heuermann's The Gilgo Beach Killer, also known as the Long Island Serial Killer. Human remains were discovered in burlap bags at Gilgo Beach, Long Island. Over time, the number of bodies found in the area reached up to 18, dating back to 1996. The case gained significant attention with the disappearance of 24-year-old Shannon Gilbert in 2010. Gilbert, who had a history of bipolar disorder and drug abuse, was working in sex work to support herself while taking online college courses. Her last known location was at a client's house near Gilgo Beach, after which she made several erratic 911 calls and then vanished. The search for Gilbert led to the discovery of multiple bodies in the area, suggesting the work of a serial killer. 4 victims, known as the Gilgo Beach 4, were identified: Maureen Brainard Barnes, Melissa Barthélemy, Megan Waterman, and Amber Costello. All were sex workers, similar in appearance, and had been contacted via a burner phone before their disappearance. Their bodies were found in similar conditions, suggesting a pattern. The case was hampered by police incompetence and corruption, notably involving Suffolk County Police Chief James Burke, who was later convicted of unrelated crimes. The FBI offered assistance but was initially refused by local authorities. Years later, a new police administration reinvigorated the investigation. They focused on tracking burner phones used to contact the victims and identified specific areas in Manhattan and Long Island from where the calls were made. This led them to Rex Heuermann, a wealthy architect living in Massapequa Park, who matched the psychological profile of the killer and drove a Chevrolet Avalanche, a vehicle seen near the crime scenes. Investigations revealed Heuermann's disturbing online activities and connections to sex workers. Forensic advancements linked hairs found at the crime scenes to Heuermann and his wife. In July 2023, Heuermann was arrested and charged with the murders of Waterman, Costello, and Barthélemy. His house, described as an eyesore and creepy, raised suspicions among neighbors. Heuermann's case is ongoing, and he has pleaded not guilty. While he is currently charged with 3 murders, authorities are investigating his possible involvement in other unsolved cases, including murders of sex workers in different states. The full extent of his alleged crimes is yet to be determined. Number 2. Rebecca Auborn. On January 15, 2022, emergency services were called to the home of 30-year-old Joseph Crumpler in Columbus, Ohio. Crumpler was in the throes of an overdose. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he tragically could not be revived and was pronounced dead. The police investigation led them to 38-year-old Rebecca Auborn, a sex worker who was with Crumpler at the time. Auborn confessed to providing him with fentanyl and robbing him after his overdose. However, she faced no charges, and Crumpler's death was deemed an accidental overdose. Months later, on April 1, 2023, a similar scene unfolded in a Columbus hotel. 54-year-old Robert Snoke had fatally overdosed on fentanyl, with cocaine also present in his system. His death, too, was ruled accidental. Barely 2 weeks afterward, on April 13th, 64-year-old Wayne McKinn was found dead, 4 days shy of his 65th birthday. His death, like the others, was attributed to an accidental overdose involving fentanyl and cocaine. The pattern continued on June 15th, when the body of 42-year-old Guy Renda was discovered in a residential area in Columbus. His death was also ruled an accidental overdose with fentanyl and cocaine in his system. Following Renda's death, the Central Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force received a tip about a sex worker administering fentanyl to clients without their knowledge, robbing them while they were unconscious, and then leaving them to die. This tip led investigators to 33-year-old Rebecca Auborn, who had been with Joseph Crumpler before his death, and had admitted to giving him fentanyl. Auborn, a Columbus native with a minimal criminal record, had lost her 18-day-old daughter in 2016. During police interrogation, Auborn admitted to being with another victim, mixing fentanyl into his crack, and then robbing him while he overdosed. Further investigation revealed that a fifth man had overdosed in Auborn's presence in December 2022. In October 2023, Auborn was charged with multiple counts of murder, involuntary manslaughter, felonious assault, and corrupting another with drugs, among other offenses. The police believe Auborn may have more victims and are reviewing other overdose deaths in the area. They also urged other survivors or anyone with information about Auborn to come forward. Number 1. Jared Joseph Powell. In the bustling city of Los Angeles, a disturbing tale unfolded with the emergence of Jared Joseph Powell, a 33-year-old man implicated in a series of brutal crimes against the homeless. This saga of violence and mystery began to unravel with Powell's apprehension, shedding light on the darker corners of urban life. Powell, formerly employed by the city of Fontana, had maintained a presence on social media, including a Twitter account named King Jared, which was subsequently locked, perhaps in an attempt to conceal his activities. The gruesome narrative commenced on November 26th, spiraling into a string of killings over the following days. The victims, tragically linked by their circumstances of homelessness, were Jose Bolanis, Mark Diggs, and a third individual whose identity remained undisclosed. Each was cruelly shot in their sleep, vulnerable and unsuspecting. The investigation took a significant turn with the recovery of a handgun from Powell's vehicle. This firearm not only connected him to the murders of the homeless victims, but also to the separate and equally tragic follow-home robbery and murder of Nicholas Similin, a father in San Dimas. This connection between the incidents painted a picture of a methodical and heartless perpetrator. The Los Angeles Police Department, spearheaded by Chief Michael Moore, embarked on an exhaustive investigative effort. Through diligent work involving surveillance footage, witness interviews, and forensic science, they pieced together Powell's crime spree. The revelation of Powell's arrest brought a sense of resolution to a series of crimes that had instilled fear across the city. The mayor of Los Angeles publicly expressed relief at Powell's arrest, acknowledging the palpable tension and unease that had gripped the community. The case prompted reflections on the rarity of African-American serial killers and comparisons with similar crimes in different regions, suggesting a broader pattern of such criminal behavior. As the probe into Powell's past deepened, it raised questions about his potential involvement in other unsolved crimes. His vehicle, now a crucial piece of evidence, was examined for possible connections to other acts of violence. The story of Jared Joseph Powell thus became not only a chronicle of his crimes, but a complex narrative revealing the vulnerabilities and hidden dangers of city life.